Guys, I already first shot and I had to hit the wood pile. Yeah, but I found it. You know, I took a few days off, guys, because my car was acting funny and it left me stranded at the supermarket. You know, when I came out, went in there for a little bit, you know, the Genesis, and tell you what, it took me a long time to figure out what was wrong with it. I had to get it towed home, and then, you know, I've been without a car for a couple, you know, about a week and a half or so, maybe 2 weeks, and you know, I changed the alternator on it, and changed the serpentine belt. You know, I do all the work myself, so I didn't think it'd be good to record it because I wasn't in the right state of mind, you know, because I don't know, I want to keep this a clean channel. But anyways, on that car, you know, one fuse can make the whole car not work. It's a 2011 Genesis 3.8. The alternator was bad. I replaced that. Okay, the battery was bad. You know, I replaced that. You know, you're up there. It's about $600 right there. Okay. Then I was looking for a fuse because it blew the main fuse, a 200 amp fuse. Okay, and nowhere over town, all over town, had it. Called the dealer, and they said it'd be $40, and they still haven't given it to me. You know, and it's been 2 weeks. So I went down to O'Reilly's yesterday, and they told me it'll be in the next day. I went there this morning. I bought 2 of them, so I won't be stranded again. A 200 amp fuse, right? Because it's the main fuse of the car. Okay, it runs all the electronics and everything. All right, I put that joker in this morning, and now I'm driving my car again. So yeah. So, you know, some things, you know, are pretty easy, and some things are mind-racking, but it took me a while to figure out what was wrong with it. But, you know, when I knew my battery was dead, and, you know, the alternator, when I took it out, it was pretty bad. So I'm glad it was just that, not the starter, because the starter is right underneath the alternator. In order to do that, you have to take out motor mounts, and you have to, you know, lower your rack and pinion and all that stuff just to get to the starter. And it's got like you know, like heat shields on it and everything, so you can't even bang on it. If, you know, the starter, that little trick that you bang on the starter, you couldn't even do that. You know, it's tucked up underneath there, and you can't get to it unless you take everything apart, like the motor mount, and lift it up, and then drop the engine a little bit, or the rack and pinion a little bit. And I don't have that many jacks to do all that stuff, so I'm glad it wasn't the starter. I'm glad it was just the alternator. You know, I lucked out on that, but as soon as I put the fuse in, everything kicked on. So, you know, the alarms kicked on too, but eventually they shut off because it recognized the key, you know, because the computer has to learn everything again. You know, I know this is not a car channel or anything, but, you know, I do all the work myself on my cars, so it took me a while. It took me a couple weeks to figure out what was wrong with it. So that's over with. I got my car back, you know. Anyway, that's all. I'm a little rusty on shooting my arrows now. I was preoccupied with that. Okay. And that's far to the left on the top. But yeah, so I didn't even bother practicing all week or the past 2 weeks because of the car, you know, and getting back and forth to work and everything like that. You know, you need a vehicle, so had to do that. But that's just, you know, everyday life. Everything happens, you know. And I wasn't about to get rid of that car for, you know, whatever it was. I was going to fix it. You know, I was determined. You know, and patience, and a lot of words that I can't say on this channel. Yeah, I said them, but I'm satisfied with it. But, you know, like I said, you got to drive it. So I drove it all over town today because the computer has to learn everything back, because, you know, it's been unplugged for, you know, the battery's been unhooked for a whole 2 weeks just about, you know. Luckily I had a full tank of gas in there, so, you know, just I had just filled it up when it died, you know, so it just came out of the blue. So if you have like that kind of car, you know, always check your fuses, you know, before you start throwing parts at it. Okay? Yeah. All right. Anyway. Yeah. And I am very rusty today. It's a little chilly, a little, you know, I'd say in the 60s or so, upper 60s, but it's okay. So I only brought one bow out today because I needed to just get out and practice anyways. You know, it's been a while. Been quite a while, but everything's good now. My patience tolerance level has gone down, and everything is, you know, a-okay for now. If I get better at shooting, I'll be all right. But that's what my week consisted of, trying to figure out what was wrong with the vehicle, you know. So, you know, I don't give up that easy, and I tend to not let anyone touch my car. So I'll let them touch my car when they change the tires, but that's about it. You know, everything else I do on my cars. So I tend to figure out everything about the car. But since it's 2011, you know, on that vehicle, it's hard because I can't find a service manual for it. You know, you can look online, and some people have the vehicle. But as far as service manuals, when I buy cars, you know, I buy used cars and stuff, I tend to always buy the service manual, you know, the shop manual. So I know every part of that car, like every nut, bolt, everything. You know, and that way you know all your fluids and everything too. I'm sorry if I'm just rambling on about my car, but I'm happy, guys. I'm really happy today. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am. Back to doing what I want to do. It's rough not having a vehicle and having to, you know, borrow other people's vehicles and stuff, but, you know, I'm very thankful that I had someone to lean on. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody's driving around here, so it's pretty loud. But I figured I'd just get out and practice a little bit, you know, just a little bit, guys. Oh. Anyways, that's what my weeks have consisted of. You know, I threw a couple of music videos in there, you know, just goofing off, but, you know, nothing serious, okay, guys? So, you know, like any of my hobbies, I'm not perfect, so anyways. Oh, yeah. I try, guys, I try. But it was a little chilly those days, you know. You know, I'd have to get out there after work, or, you know, it'd have to be after work because I work in the, you know, in the mornings and stuff, so. And some days I was pretty tired to go play with that car. Anyways, it's all good, guys. And like you can see, I got my favorite bow. And, you know, I truly appreciate everyone's harsh comments about my style and the way I shoot my arrows. I really appreciate it, guys. I really do. No matter how many times I tell you guys, I'm just doing this to blow off steam and stuff. But people just have to throw their 2 cents in and tell me what I'm doing wrong. But it's okay, guys. It's okay. So, I'm trying. I'm not sitting on the couch, you know. Anyways, I'm not trying to be salty or anything, you know. It just comes naturally. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even want to respond. Oh, they're all to the left today, but to my defense, I am rusty today. You don't know how much stress I had all week, those 2 weeks. Oh, a lot of stress. Anyways, I'm gonna get my arrows, pause the video, and go get them. Yep. All right, I'm back. Got them. You know, just a few. I've got a whole bunch more in the little caddy. I'll show you guys. But I got all these today, so I get to play around a little bit, you know, to make up for time I didn't practice, I guess. Yep. But it's all good. So I don't know about next weekend, guys. Next weekend I'm gonna have to work, so I don't know if I'll be able to get out and make a video next weekend or what, but it's okay. I'll try. Oh yeah, I'll try. But you guys have to realize, you know, anyone that creates content on social media, they do have lives too, you know, and they have, well, I'm just speaking for myself, you know. This is not a breadwinner, you know, channel, or this is not how I make my money. So I'm not really concerned, you know, about that aspect of it. But, you know, I try my best, you know, to put the videos out and stuff at a, you know, reasonable time or whatever, to give you guys a chance to look at them and stuff, without just cranking them out every day. You know, when I first started, I cranked them out every day. You know, that was years ago, and it burned me out because I had to work too, you know. And people that don't do it for a career, you know, they have lives too. And outside of doing these videos, you know, I do have a life. So, you know, you have to realize that not all people are, you know, I hate to say it, but the beast. But he's the beast. But not all people are, you know, multi-million-dollar YouTubers or social media gurus. You know, some of us are just doing this to unwind and, you know, let the stress go. And I just enjoy doing it, so that's what I do, you know. So making my videos, you know, is just another hobby of mine, you know, as well as the hiking and the archery and the photography. It's just something I enjoy doing, okay? Because I cannot sit at the house idle and just vegetate all the time, you know. Because once, you know, you sit there and you get off work, you lay on the bed or the couch or wherever, the floor, you know, and I won't wake up till the next morning and have to do it all over again. So I have to have these hobbies to keep myself occupied. Okay? All right. That was in the center and it was a little high, but it's okay. But I did enjoy driving my car again. Getting back to that. Oh my goodness, you just don't know, guys. I don't think my you know, my daughter that helped me, one of them that helped me, you know, I don't think she had confidence in that I would fix it, but I did. So I do know a little something, guys, just a little bit. But, you know, I'm still humble, thankful, and yeah. And it still works even though it's a little shredded. That's okay. I'm going to keep my style the way I want to do it. No, that's not, I'm not in the Hunger Games, you know. Alright. I know, I'm being silly. Just silly Dallas. You know, everybody says it's dementia kicking in. I guess so. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna keep doing this, guys, and I just want to check back to you guys and show you what I'm doing and tell you what I'm doing, and you know, I'm gonna keep on doing this. I hope you enjoy, you know, your day, the rest of this month, whatever, you know. Go out there and, you know, check out the, you know, the changing colors of the trees or whatever. Yeah, just get out there and do something, okay? All right. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care. All right. See ya. Bye. All right.